Hi guys, today we're gonna build a hand-powered fluid transfer pump or engine oil change pump. If you go online, there are so many online sellers that sells oil pumps by hand, but I found that a lot of them have um, reviews of it's not being functional, it start to leak, this and that. So I found a way to make a pump on the cheap, and it works and it's effective. Um, it works on a hand pump, which is this. It's just an air pump to pump. It's supposed to be used for a um, clothes packaging vacuum for storage. What you call it? It is like a vacuum bag. It's for a vacuum bag. So this is for a vacuum bag. This valve came out of that bag. The bag costs close to nothing. It's cheap. If it breaks, you can always buy one, rip one of these valves out. It's a non-return valve. The air goes through here, out of the bag, through this valve orifice, and it stays there. It stays shut. So this is the major component. This is a vacuum gauge. It's optional. um, I would like to have this because when you're sitting in a car, say you're doing your uh, oil change for your car, it doesn't vacuum all in one in 5 seconds. No, it takes time to like flow out of the engine. So you don't need any jacks. You don't need any big tools to like lift the car up to drain the oil from underneath from the sump. You don't have to. You can actually use a vacuum to suck oil out of the dipstick. What you call it? Dipstick orifice or this dipstick tube if you have one. One of those older cars usually have one of those dipstick tubes. So you vacuum. You see the vacuum gauge builds up, it stays at one point, and then the vacuum is still there, the oil is still flowing out of the engine. When it goes down to close to maybe 10.5 is low, and you see the oil is stopping, because at an angle from the car, inside the car, you can just have a sit and you can see, you can watch from afar that the vacuum is decreasing as time pass, relative to time. Then all you have to do is continue pumping until you get only air coming through the pipes into the jar. So this is optional. One of the vital components is you have a good jar like this. This is probably about 750 milliliters or a liter. One of those food mason jars you get from supermarkets. This is one of those lids that they have on, which is easy open. So it stays shut and tight because it has a seal. It's I think it's probably silicone or rubber, and it's easy to open. So what you do is when the jar fills up halfway, because if you have a car that have say 5 liters of engine oil, um, this is say a liter of oil in here, so you have to do, you have to tip off 5 times out into a container to dispose. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna pump, it fills up, disconnect this jar, this lid, pour out, shut, pump again until the gauge builds up, and then you just wait. My last oil change I did, as you can see, this tube is kind of grubby with engine oil. I did my last engine oil change. It took me about 25 minutes to get about 4 liters out of the engine, and it works well. It works a treat because it's easy. Just pump, leave it, and tip over. Pump, leave it, tip over. That's all you do. So I'm rebuilding my kit because my old jar is a little bit grubby, and I find that it's nice to have a gauge like this. So today we're gonna start building. I'm gonna take this lid off. Lid. First, we're gonna build with this valve. It has to be somewhat at the corner of this lid. So I think I'm gonna cut this off just slightly, but you don't want to go too close to the edge because you want enough amount of silicone or adhesive to seal this valve for vacuum. So that will be about right, because you're gonna have this valve there, you're gonna have this gauge like that, probably facing your way like that, and this tube coming out one of the corners. Make sense? So you have 3 openings. First, we're gonna make this ones first. So we're gonna have I use a big drill bit. Not gonna go into details on how I drill it, so you're gonna find your way. It's not too hard. You just get a drill bit more or less about the same size, enlarge it as you go, and make it fit one at a time. So that's about there. Yeah, you want to be careful with this. When you cut this tin can open, it is sharp, so if need be, just use a pair of gloves or something. I'm kind of used to working with sharp stuff, so you don't need one. Or this medium, just cut it short. Yeah, that should be about. I have a sleeve here. Okay, so now we're gonna glue this. What I'm using is like a type of silicone, but holds up to 600 kilos. It says 600 kilos. It's um, it sticks to everything, anything. It says it sticks in 3 seconds. It fixes, and it it's a grab adhesive and it seals, so it's all in one. So what I'm gonna do is mark this here, a little bit wrong, like this. So when you shut this, when you pump, the air is gonna rush in. So theoretically, you only glue this side, the outside in. So outside glue, inside leave it as it is. So we're gonna put glue on here. Stuck. This shit nasty. This is really nasty. I have a love-hate relationship with it. It's good, but it's also messy. There. Make sure you form a complete seal of the whole orifice like that. Okay? So now this is going on there. Press it. That's it. Now, the other one is a gauge. Gauge goes on here. The same goes to the gauge. I'm gonna glue this corner first, because I can't get to that corner. Of course, you can go fancy with all the seals and stuff. The point is, I'm trying to make it on low budget, the lowest budget possible. So now you have this on. There. Okay. Make sure everything's sealed around it. You can see it. There. There. And all around. That'll do. Yep, that's it. Okay. Next, the hose. I got this hose. It just fits just nice into the engine's dip tube, the oil dip tube. So you measure what size you like. Don't go too small. The bigger the better, because the flow rate of engine oil is really low if you go any smaller. chances are you're gonna get it. It take a very long time to pump all the oil out. Just imagine 5 liters going through this tube. Um, yeah, that's how long it's gonna take. It helps to up the engine a little bit, but not too much because it'll be harder to handle on a hot bottle on a engine oil entering the bottle and it's too hot for you to handle. So just warm up probably about say 10 minutes, 5 minutes for the engine to run depending on your climate, and then you're all set. You can pump all the engine oil out. So this goes in like that. And I'm gonna use this, smooth it out a little bit. Okay, so you can see the hose hanging in there by about say 40-50 millimeters, just to get it away from this valve. Okay, now we're gonna leave it as it is like this for at least a couple hours. So it has been about 2 hours. I've been doing some other stuff while this glue, this multi-purpose grab adhesive cures. It seals and it sticks, so it looks like it's hard. It's good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna test. I'm gonna show you when we hook this up, the hand pump. When we hook this up on here, and then when we pump, I'll plug it with my finger. The gauge will hold high, as high as I can actually pump with one hand. And then when I release my finger, it's gonna drop to 0. That means we break the vacuum. So make sure that your lid here is all clean. Make sure there's no like residue of the shavings of materials that you cut off from earlier. Seal it shut. Okay. This hand pump that you will buy from a it comes together with the vacuum bags. It comes with a thread, so you thread it on like that. You don't have to put any sealants on it, just as it is good enough. Okay, so I'm gonna plug it in my finger. I'm gonna pump it now. There you go. There. See, my fingers closed. This is all vacuum. It's all vacuum in here. The gauge is that high. Now I'm gonna release it. There you go. So it works. So now we're gonna test it with the blue liquid. This blue liquid is actually fertilizer for my plants, but that's the only colorful thing I can actually find, so that I can show you how it works, how the liquid can be transferred, which is like engine oil and engine coolant and whatever you need to pump with this hand pump. So I'm gonna pump. The viscosity of water is a lot thinner than engine oil. So when I pump, there will be hardly any vacuum coming on the gauge, but the water will just transferred over because it's very thin. It's low viscosity. Engine oil, on the other hand, will take longer to go through the tubes because it's thick, heavy, high viscosity. So you will see this gauge go high and then it will hold for a while until the engine oil transfers out, until it fills the bottle, and then the gauge starts falling. Then you repeat the process over and over again, and then you get all the engine oil out. So now we're going to pump. See how it transfers. There you go. You need something to hold this down. So anyway, you got the idea. So you know it works. So I have a mechanic friend that that suggested that pumping engine oil out of your car or your engine is actually a lot better than just opening the drain plug. Why? He has a reason. He said when you dip this hose down, you are actually at the point where the engine oil, the dipstick actually rests, where it stops. So at that point, that is the lowest point of your engine where you will get to suck out all the residual oil, all the bad stuff out from that point. That is actually a lot better than just draining the plug, because when you drain the plug, the sludge is going to stay on the sides where the dipstick is. That's what the bad stuff you want to get out from the car. So basically, when you vacuum, you are actually benefiting always, like many ways. In many ways, first, you get all the bad stuff out. Second, you don't have to use a jack. You don't have to have a car jack. So you only need this pump and probably a wrench for your oil filter. That's it. So everything else is more or less accessible, unless your car is a little bit more special. Then you might get some special tools here and there. But the bottom line is, this is cheap to build. For most cars, you can actually use this. It's easy to build, easy to rebuild. If it breaks, can replace it easy. It's cheap, and it's reliable, because you know it only works with this single hand pump, which is also cheap. um, and you what you make, you are proud of it, that it lasts. So try it, give it a try. And leave your comments and reviews, and give a thumbs up if you like this. It encourages me to make more videos, and don't forget to subscribe. We have more interesting videos. I'll try to make more. um, Tell me, I'm a man of many talents. Tell me what you like to see. Leave it in the comments, and I'll try to make that happen. See you next time.